Torah portion, Chumash and Rashi were at the beginning. At the beginning. New cycle. Good time to jump in and start learning Chumash and Rashi. As good as ever. Let's get right into it. We're in the sixth reading. Oopsie. Okay. Here we are. Okay, yeah. Chapter 4, verse 23. And Lemach said to his wives, he had two wives, Ada and Tzila, right? Shema and Kaeli, listen to my voice, heed my voice. Neshei Lemach, wives of Lemach. Ha'azena imrasi. Azena comes with Azan, means ear. Give ear to my words. Ki ish harakti, for a man I have killed. The pitzi, with my wound. V'yeled lechar bu rossi, and a child by my bruise. Okay, what does that mean? Shema koili, heed my voice. Shayu nashim parshim mimenu. His wives were separating themselves from him. Mitashvish, from conjugal relations. The Visha is kind because he killed Cain. Remember, the seventh generation. He's the seventh generation, right? So he killed Cain. There's Tubal Cain Benoi, and Tubal Cain Lemach's son. He killed. Shayo Lemach Suma, because Lemach was blind. But Tubal Cain Moishchai, and Tubal Cain would draw him along, like he would lead him, right? He was his cane, his stick, his walking stick. Is Cain, and Tubal Cain saw Cain, Nimbaloi Kechaya, and Cain looked like an animal. So he told Tubal Cain, the son, told his father Lemach, Limshayach Bekeshes, draw your bow, Vahargai. And Lemach killed Cain. Once Lemach realized what he did, Shu Kayin, Zekenai, that it's Cain, his ancestor, he kakaf al kaf, he struck one palm against the other palm. The suffix is Benoi Benayim, and hit his son between the ears. Vahargai, and killed him. So his wives were separating themselves from him, and now he's trying to mollify them because of what happened. Got it? Sheman Koili, heed my voice. Lashmiali, to comply with me. Litashmish, for conjugal relations. V'chi ish was a man, Asher Harakti, the man who I enslaved. The Lepiti, who nerag, slain by my wound, meaning, did I intentionally wound him? That the wound should be Kori al Shmi, that should be ascribed to me. In other words, am I responsible for this? In other words, his son told him, his son thought it was an animal. It looked like an animal to him, right? So he said, oh, father, kill him. Now, why he's telling his father to kill him when his father's blind, I don't get that exactly, but whatever. How's that supposed to work? But this is what it is.
And where was Cain in all of this? Was it next to Cain, his father?
We've just said he was drawing him on. He was blind, so he was his walking cane, right? He was his walking stick, right? We said that, right? Now you saw that? Am I reading too quickly?
So who is Tubal Cain again? Is it
The son of Lemach.
Oh.
Okay. Either I'm going too quick or we're not on the same page. We're not. We got to stay together. We got to. Right. So let's stick together on and not be on a different place. Okay. I think that would help. Okay. So I didn't wound him intentionally, that this should be ascribed to me. So that's what he means to say, listen, did I kill a person, because of my wound? the Yeled and the child Asher Harakti. And as far as the child that I killed, the Chaburas in Erag, he was slain by my bruise. Yeah? In other words, Kalaymar, Ayedei Rossi, by means of my wound, bit me up. There's astonishment, rhetorical question. He's saying, am I not unintentional for this? Well, amazing, not intentional. All I did was clap my hands together, and his head just happened to be there. And I'm not even certain. Maybe I added that. Yeah, no, I added that. No, it doesn't say that. That's the way I understood it, but I think I'm wrong. I think it means he just clapped his hands so powerfully that it killed the son. Yeah, exactly. I guess it was, right next to him and killed him. And others, that was also unintentional. This is not my wound, right? But this is not my bruise. Petza, wound, makas cherev, is a blow of a sword or chetz or of an arrow. And in Old French, navrur. Oops. Okay. Got it? Okay. 24. Ki shiva asayim yukam kayin. For Cain's suffered vengeance at 7 generations. Then Lemach shivim v'shivim. Then Lemach should be 77. In other words, it took 7 generations till Cain, who intentionally killed his brother, right, that he got punished. So for me, it should be 77 generations because I did it unintentionally. So be nice to me. Right? Cain suffered vengeance at 7 generations. Cain that he killed intentionally. The punishment was suspended until Shiva for 7 generations. But I, who killed unintentionally, shouldn't be all the more so. That should be suspended for me. Shiva many 7 generations. Shivim Sheva, 77. He sees an expression of a multitude of 7s for himself. That's what the Tanchuma Medrash explains. Or Medrash Bereishit Rabbah, but the Bereishit Rabbah understands it differently. Lemech did not kill at all. And Nosha Parshas, we met about his wife. They separated themselves from him. Once they fulfilled the commandment of procreation, because it was a decree that had been ordained to wipe out the seed of Cain. After 7 generations, so they said, why should we give birth for no reason? Tomorrow the flood's going to come. The Shetiv is it's going to wipe away everything. And Lemach would say to them, Ki ish harakti lepitzi, did I slay a man by my wound? That is, ani harakti is Hevel, did I kill Hevel? Shahaya ish bekaimai, that a man who was a man in physical structure, but yelled b'shanim, but a child in years. She has already called it that my seed should be wiped out. But so Alvin with that same sin. So now if Cain, that he had killed and the punishment was suspended for him, Shiva Doyers for 7 generations, me, who I did not kill, shouldn't be all the more so. She had all that they should suspend for me, many 7 generations, and this is a Kal V'chomer shel shtus, a foolishness, that for if it were true, in a Kadosh Baruch Hu, God would not collect his debt to fulfill his word. In other words, he's saying that's a foolish sentiment of his because God doesn't punish right away necessarily, but there's a debt to it for the punishment. So based on what his logic is, no one would ever, he or no one else would ever get punished because I won't be able to collect the debt. No, the debt has to be collected, right? Other words, there's evil that's done. There's a consequence of that evil, and there will become a time where the consequence of that will be fulfilled, right? So his kal v'chomer is a foolish one, right? Got that?
Mhm.
Wow.
And they already knew that there was going to be a flood also.
Yes.
Hmm.
Which is interesting. Well, yeah, okay, let's see. We'll see further over here. Yeah, how does Rashi pick up that they knew this? And why does he give the second explanation? It seems to be way out there. Why these, he's giving a second explanation. They're saying that he didn't kill them.
Only killed two Volkai.
Second explanation?
Yeah. That's why he's
No,
saying that he.
no, not at all. No,
That's what it says.
no. Where's it saying? The second explanation? And the second explanation?
I did not kill, certainly have my punishment. That is the destruction of my offspring suspended through many times, 7 generations. But this is absurd application of a fortiori reasoning. Where some of the Holy One does he would never establish that fulfills himself. Otherwise, what is he saying?
No, but that of Cain.
That's second.
The second explanation, he didn't kill anybody. No, yeah, read it from the beginning, you'll see.
Why does he say his punishment should be delayed? For what is he punished?
Read from the beginning. Look, read from the beginning. Read from it. Loy harag lemach klum. He did not kill at all. That means at all. Period. Doesn't mean half.
So why does he say then his punishment should be suspended for so?
Because he's 7 generations.
Why?
God said 7 generations it will happen.
Anything at all. Why would he?
I'm explaining it to you, but you're not ready to hear. I'm explaining because you're convinced that that's what it means, but look what the words of the first sentence is. He did not kill at all. Because the punishment is there upon him. He's the 7th generation from Cain. For Cain, what Cain did.
He's punished for what Cain did?
Yeah. That's the whole point. That's exactly the whole point. God suspended it for 7 generations. Well, why should he be punished for something he didn't do if Cain did it? It's suspended. It's his offspring that will get the punishment.
Why does Rashi say this is absurd?
His kal v'chomer is absurd because that means God can never take back a punishment if he suspends it. That means there's never going to be a punishment. And that's absurd. That's the point. That's what's absurd, is that a punishment doesn't, the punishment doesn't have to be right away. That we get, right? But it has to be. His kal v'chomer is, I did nothing wrong, so why should there be punishment for another 7 generations further? There shouldn't be. But that's absurd. That means God can therefore never take the punishment. That's what's absurd.
Translation says clearly, i.e., the destruction of the offspring.
Yeah, offspring. But not his punish, not because he did something wrong. He did nothing wrong, but there's offspring that will get the punishment. That's exactly the point. And that's what God said when he killed initially Cain, right? Oh, this is too much for bear. Okay, 7 generations, you won't get punished. This is the 7th generation. I mean, the whole thing is a little hard to fathom, but without Chassidus, but whatever. Well, we're not going there now. Okay, let's do 25. V'yeda Adam, and he knew Adam, oid, furthermore, es ishtoi, his wife, meaning they had relations. V'teiled ben, and born to him a son, v'tikra Shmai, and he called his name Shais. Ki shas li Elikim zera acher tachas hevel ki hargel kayin. You know why Rashi just explained what he just did? Because it's juxtaposed to this. I think that's my idea, but I don't know. Anyways, so God has provided me another child in place of Abel. For Cain had killed him. Let's see Rashi in 25. Adam knew. Lemach came, Eitzel Adam Arishan to Adam, the first man. The Kabul Nashav, and he complained about his wives. Amar Lehem, Adam said to them, Ki Alechem Ledaktek, is it upon you to be precise and make these calculations of the decree of God? Remember, the second explanation was they didn't want. Why did they disassociate themselves from Him? How come? Who remembers? We just learned it. Because there's going to be a flood. So what's the point to have more children? We fulfilled our mandate, our obligation to have children. Why should we bring more? And they're just going to be killed, right? So they're now Adam is speaking to them and saying to them, yeah, it's not your business to make calculations about what God's going to do. You have to fulfill your commandment. And God will do what is His, what He sees fit. So they said to him, rectify yourself first. Practice what you preach. Did you not separate yourself from your wife? For the past 130 years, since death had been given as a punishment, al yadcha, through you. How? Because they ate from the right. This is 130 years after the sin of the tree of knowledge in Gan Eden, right? So immediately when they said this to him, he accepted the truth, and he knew again. That's what it means again. What does it mean again? To teach you that his desire increased also over his previous desire, but Bereishit Rabbah, as this is found in Bereishit Rabbah. Wow, is that fascinating? Well, there's so much here that we, in this parsha to look into sichas. Oh my gosh, we could spend the whole year just in this parsha. Okay, 26. 26. Well, the Shays, now Shays is his son, right? Shays v'gam Lad Ben, and he also was born to him a son, v'yikra shmoi Enosh, and he called his name Enosh. Azu chol likra b'shem Hashem. Then they began to call out in the name of God. Okay, what's going on here? What do you mean then? What does it mean then? What happened? Then it began Shmais Ha'adam, to call up names of men as Shmais Ha'tzabim, the names of icons. By the name of God. To make them idols. Okay. To call them deities. Then began, actually, if you remember, I'm sure we don't, then in Rambam, when we started Avodah Zorah and the laws of idolatry, so he explains that that's what happened in the time of Enosh. Right? Till then, there was idolatry, but by Enosh, it became a greater degree of idolatry because they were calling out idols in the name of God. Till then, they believed that God was the God of gods. They just believed that God, he didn't, God had intermediaries who would help out, but God controlled them. Now it became that they were gods themselves. That's what it means. Yeah. Wow. Chapter 5, verse number 1. Sefer told us Adam. This is the account of the descendants of Adam, Adam, the Adam, in the day that in the day that God created Adam. But in the image of God, He created him. Rashi Sefer told us Adam. That this is the account of the descendants of Adam. Zu Sfiras told us Adam. Sfiras told us Adam. This is the recounting of the descendants of Adam. Midrash Agada Yesh Arbein. There are many midrashim over here to explain what this is like. What's the point over here? Because Sefer usually means a book, and here it's being understood as an account. But Yom Barai, in the day of being created, Magid Zil ben Shenivra, on the day he created Hoyli, he begat children. And what do you mean in the day of when he was created? We're telling now about his descendants, right? What do you mean saying the day that he was created? Because even on the day he was created, that's when he had his first children, Cain and Abel. Didn't take 9 months.
So they were born in the garden.
They were born in the garden. Yeah, wow. Okay. Zachav and Nekeva Baram, he created the man and women. They were androgynous. The Yivarach, right? We had that already in the second account of creation. Oh, no, in the first account of creation. First was the second. Oh, already forgetting. Oh my gosh. Okay. So they were male and female together. And he blessed them. V'yikra is Shmam, and he called their name Adam v'yaymi Baram. And he named Adam on the day he created them. Vayi Adam, Shloshim Amei Ashana, and he was Adam. When we say Adam, is Adam. Yechi, thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and he lived Adam 130 years. Shana v'yoylid v'dmusai, and he gave birth in his image, b'talmai, in his likeness, his form. V'yikra Shmoi Shes, and he called him Shes after 130 years. Right. So remember, Rashi said that earlier, right? He separated from his wife for 130 years. Because after Cain and Abel, so he didn't have for 130 years, and now he's happy. Ad kan pirish min ha'isha. To 130 years, that's when he separated from his wife. Okay. Verse number 4. Adam, and it was in the days, the days of Adam. After he gave birth to Shes, Shmoina Meis, Shana, 800 years. And he gave birth to boys and girls, right? To male and female. Called Adam, and the entire days of Adam, Asher Chai, that he lived, Teisha Meos, 900 years, Shana, V'shleishim Shana, Vayamas, and 930 he lived, and then he died. V'yichi Sheis, Chamesh Shanim Uma'as Shana, he lived 105 years. Yolid is Enosh, and then he gave birth to Enosh. And he lived Shes after he gave birth to Enosh. Sheva Shanim, 7 years. So Shmoinim, Shmoina Shana, and 807 years. And he gave birth to sons and daughters. Right. You call you may Shes, Shtemis Shana, Teisha Meya, Shana V'Yomas. And the entire his entire days of Shes, 12 years and 900, so 912 years. Right, that is Shes. Now, and it was, and he lived Enosh, Tishim Shana, 90 years, V'Yolid is Canaan, and he gave birth to Canaan. So he lived after giving birth to Canaan 15 years, 800 years, meaning Shana, 815. And he gave birth to sons and daughters. You call Yemei Enosh, Chamish Shanim, Tesha Meos Shana v'Yomas. And Enosh then lived all of his days. He lived was 905 years. Canaan, Shivim Shana, and Canaan lived 70 years. He lived as Mahalalel, and he gave birth to Mahalalel after 70 years. Canaan, he lived as Mahalalel. And then he lived Canaan after giving birth to Mahalal 40 years and 840 in other words, and gave birth to sons and daughters. You call Yemei, Canaan, Eser, Shanim, Shah, Meos, Shanim Yamas. And the entire life days of Canaan was 910. And Mahalal, he lived 65 years. Yared, and he gave birth to Yared. Mahalal, Helidai es Yared Shleshim Shana Shemaina Meo Shana B'Yelebani Mabanis. So Mahalal, after giving birth to Yered, he lived 830 years. You call Yemei Mahalal Chamish Tishim Shana Shmeina Meos Shana B'Yamas, and he lived Mahalal Chamish Tishim. That's 95, and Shmeina Meos is 800. So 895. Who lived the longest so far? Adam, 930, but he's not going to be the longest. Not
Rabbi,
the old.
could you scroll up, please?
Oh.
965.
Huh?
965.
Not yet. We didn't get there yet. We're going to get there. Yeah, we're going to get there. Yered Shtayim Shishim Shana, Omas Shana. So Yered lived to 162 years. Yered is Chanech, huh?
You missed Canaan.
Miss Canaan.
Why you calling me Canaan?
Was the
What pasuk? I'm on 18. I just finished 18. Yered Achri Halidu is Chanech. Shmeina Meos Shana v'Yeli Banim Banis. So Yered, after giving birth to Chanoich, he lived 800 years, and he gave birth to sons and daughters. You call Yemei Yered Shtayim B'Shishim Shana v'Cham Meos Shana v'Yamos. And Yered, he lived 962 years. Oh, now he's number one. Right? Vayichi Chanoich Chamesh B'Shishim Shana. Yered is Mr. Shalach, and he now lived Chanoich 65 years, and he gave birth to Mr. Shalach. Halech Chanoich es Elokim, and he went Chanoich with God. Achrei Halida is Mr. Shalach, after he gave birth to Mr. Shalach. Sholosh Meos Shana, 300 years, and he gave birth to sons and daughters. Yechi Yemei Chanoich Chamesh Shishim Shana, Shleish Meos Shana, and Chanoich he lived 65 years and 365 years. Rashi 24. Salah Chanoich, and Chanoich he walked. Tzaddik, he was a righteous man. Bekal B'daita, but he was light-minded. In other words, he wasn't firm in his convictions. Lashiv Harshia, that he would return and regress to doing evil. Lafika, therefore, Miyar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Hashem acted quickly. The Silcoin removed him from the world. And he was put to death before he died before his time. That's where the verse deviates with Misasa regarding his death.
Rabbi, Rabbi,
He's
can
no
you
longer
please
in the
scroll
world. Oh, I'm
down?
sorry.
Thank
He's
you.
no longer in the world. Lichtay Beinenu, he's no longer Lamalais Shneisav to fulfill his years. Right? Kilaka Chayta, because Hashem took a lifnei his manu before his time. You obtain the light from your eyes. Right? Because what does the verse say? All right, it says he Einenu. It didn't say that he died, right? How come it didn't say he died? Because he died before his time. That's what it's trying to say, right? Because he was righteous, but he was weak-minded, and he would have been affected by his environment. So God took him away early, that he shouldn't die wicked. Protected him, which is, by the way, an important lesson. By the way, we're finished for today, but tomorrow, Mr. Shalach, right? He's going to live. Oh no! So yeah, he is going to live 969 years, so 7 more years, and
He has the record.
he has the record. Yeah.
Well, did he permit someone to pass 1,000?
Right.
He's close, so.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. Let's take a brief moment, see if there's something from the Rebbe here. Okay. Let's see.
Lemech is an interesting. What's tomorrow? 77. Lemech. It's interesting his age.
Wow.
Rashi doesn't pick up on it.
How much is this? 772. That's about 777.
Anything.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, why do you think I should be submitted to that?
Where's our crowd?
There's nothing
They
from
need
today,
to
actually.
Put them back to themselves after the.
All right. See you shortly, folks.